I'm Sam from Jessup Says. The focus of my channel is to share and educate on how to buy less, buy better. It's not necessarily about buying less things, it's about buying something that fits its purpose perfectly and serves you for as long as possible. I've had this dream of the perfect beach outfit for quite a few months now. I wanted a Cuban collar shirt with a pair of tailored shorts. Think sort of JFK in Miami. Recently there's been a sort of resurgence of knit shirts from the 60s, things like the infamous Scott Fraser collection, the Godfather version they did. It's sort of an amazing, casual, relaxed style that originated from post-war Italy. Anyway, the summer here in Melbourne was pretty lackluster and I didn't find the exact fit or the exact design that I wanted, so I kind of forgot about it until the other day. So I'm visiting Mexico with my wife in a few weeks and the problem of what do I wear in summer came up once again. But I still hadn't seen a fit that I was really into. So I was sitting at my desk writing a script for a different YouTube video wearing my thick woolen knit from the Australian brand Charlton, whilst also once again desperately trying to find an option for what I could wear, when it occurred to me that I should look at Charlton, as they sort of did things that are along that sort of vintage retro vibe. And that is sort of the story of how I finally got my hands on a knitted Cuban collar shirt. The story of the Charlton powder blue merino wool Cuban collar knit shirt, and today I'm going to give you my literal first impressions. So the details, as it is sometimes the way, there isn't a lot of information about exactly what this is, but what we do know is that the style is called the Charlton S/S shirt. I suppose that must be summer spring shirt. The color is powder blue. The country of manufacturing is unknown, but it is an Australian company and they also use Australian merino wool. The shirt features tortoiseshell buttons and a double cream stripe around the hem of the design. At full price, this will set you back 325 Australian dollars, and it was recently on sale for 195 Australian dollars. So again, not very much to go on, but we do have wool for a summer shirt. So let's talk about how that might go. Before I talk about wool, I just want to quickly touch on who Charlton are as a brand. I wish there was more I could say or actually know and share with you. They seem to be extremely enigmatic in terms of what they share online. For me, that's a shame because I love buying into the story and the dream behind the brand. They do have an excellent aesthetic and they have extremely well-made clothes so far as I've interacted with their clothing so far, and they definitely seem to be worth the investment if you're looking for high quality clothing that has some association with Australia. But onto the wool. Once again, like the permanent style knit, we have the element of wool, and this time coming at a time where you explicitly want to be not too warm, which would be at a beach, or generally outdoors. It just so happens that this part, the wool, is the only thing that Charlton really talk about on their website, and they actually make some really interesting and good points around why they've used wool. Especially as someone who was worried about warmth of wool in summer, it was nice to see. Charlton start by saying that Australian merino wool is much finer than traditional types of wool, and it feels more luxurious and gentle on the skin. We know this and we've referenced this in other videos before, and Australian merino is known for these qualities, so is New Zealand wool. Merino wool fibers actively regulate temperature, forming a microclimate around the body. This means that merino wool keeps you warm in cold weather and keeps you cool in warm weather, making it an extremely versatile and practical fabric. All of which sounds really great, and although it's a pretty cold day here in Melbourne, I can definitely tell that the yarns they've used are sort of a knit style that's very breathable. So it's definitely very interesting, and I think that hopefully this will allow the fabric to move and breathe and not be too hot in summer. They say the knit also has a UPF or ultraviolet protection rating of at least 50. This is considered to be the ultimate in terms of sun protection and is much higher than things like cotton and other synthetic fabrics, which is amazing for me because I have very, very white skin and I'm also very conscious of not being too burnt if I am outside. Finally, they say about merino wool that a merino fiber can absorb up to 35% of its weight in moisture before it gets to actively feel wet. It actively absorbs sweat from your skin and then releases it into the air through evaporation, which is ideal once again for all climates. It's quite interesting, as it should mean that even if I do sweat a lot into the wool because it's still warm, because it's still wool, the wool should absorb a lot of my sweat before looking or feeling too damp and uncomfortable. All of which is making me quite hopeful for my upcoming trip to Mexico, where the weather is expected to be between 25 and 29 degrees every day. Must be nice. Anyway, I will report back after the Mexico trip as to how exactly the wool worked in that weather and if it really is, as it seems to be, the ideal material for the weather. My initial impressions are are that it is a very, very high quality merino. It's a gauge and of a knit and design that's appropriate for warmer weathers. And obviously we know that merino is a pretty fantastic and amazing material that has a lot of good qualities. So I am hopeful, and I am actually curious and interested to see how this fares in that hotter climate. One part that I am already impressed with is the construction of the shirt. Every element of the design is extremely tightly knitted together and tightly stitched. Now, I don't know anything about the exact way it's been fashioned or anything other than it's based on their seersucker shirting silhouette, and that it's constructed in fine merino wool. But you can see the quality in the details, like the buttonholes that have been stitched as part of the overall garment, and then they've gone back and reinforced that with extra stitching once again. It's these little details and the way the knit pattern sort of changes throughout the garment depending on what element of the garment the knit is forming is really, really cool, and it means that, you know, each element sits and conforms to your body the way it's meant to and the way it's designed to. The buttons themselves also seem really well attached, and overall my assessment of the garment is that it seems to be made in a way that is very, very quality and very, very lasting, though time will tell. As I literally haven't worn it up until this video right now, I can't really comment on how I have been wearing it, but I can comment on how I intend to wear it. So let's talk about how I'm intending to wear it on this upcoming holiday. I actually purchased this with a pair of tailored swim shorts from Charlton as well at the same time, and they are what I intend to wear with these most, or my pair of Patagonia baggies. Possibly my pair of safari shorts too, or if it's colder, I thought that I could wear them over my Nami Man military pants, which would be a really cool sort of Cuban inspired post-war look, and I think that would look really cool. I think I'll probably mostly wear it over a t-shirt as I am right now, as I think it's probably how it looks best. Maybe over a singlet, though that could look a bit odd or a bit sort of try hard if it's not done right. I might also wear it without anything underneath if it's super, super warm, but we'll just have to see how it goes. And I will of course report back. Overall, a very quick video this week because I was really keen to get my hands on this knit shirt. After dreaming of a Cuban collar knit shirt for almost a year and getting this one in my hands, I haven't been disappointed at all. Charlton are a brand that seems relatively unknown, so I'm glad to hopefully shed some light on another great high quality Australian brand. Even if they don't make their clothes in Australia, it's important to support local where you can. I'm very excited to report back on this shirt after my trip to Mexico and let you all know how it went and how it fared in the hotter weather. Thanks very much for watching. Links are in the description as always, and I look forward to seeing you guys in my next one. Cheers.